Okay. So today what we'll do is we'll create our own Helm chart. Why do we need our own Helm chart? Let me elaborate this. Um, See, we have the just trying to get the marker. It's not popping up. Yeah, so we have the PHP DB app, correct? We are having this PHP DB app and the components are similar. Like for PHP, you have deployment object, you have service object, right? For this one, you have stateful sets and you have service object and you have PV, PVC and all. PV, PVC and all, right? So let's suppose you have a deployment object, right? Let's suppose you have 10 microservices. Another service also may have deployment object, service object. Instead of creating 10 deployment objects, I mean 10 manifest files for deployment object, we'll create a Helm chart which can help us create the similar objects by passing the parameters. It's like parameterizing the builds, right? So let us do that. So let us do that. How do we create our own Helm chart? Helm chart is nothing but like we'll have a proper format. Let's go to some folder. Okay. On the desktop, let me create some folder to place this Helm chart. Microservices, let's say. Go to this folder. And here, oh, okay. Okay, now let's create here. Helm create. Let's say first I'll create for PHP. Helm create PHP. Right, it says it's creating PHP. Okay, like what's happening here, if you see, go to that PHP. See, that's a Helm chart format. Let me open this in the VS Code editor. Open this folder, microservices. Within this, yes. See, this is the Helm chart. Helm chart will have something called chart.yml. It's like a readme. And then templates, like where you will have the different templates. Means whatever objects we want, we can keep those templates. Like if you see, I can remove this test folder completely. Let me get rid of this test folder. I don't need this one. Okay, helpers dot this one also we don't need. And then deployment YAML, yes, we need. This one we don't need. Like whatever objects you want, you can keep those manifest files. Ingress, we don't need as of now. I'm not using Ingress. If you want, you can have it. Service account also we don't want. So that's all we have. Nodes, I don't need anything here. So only these two objects, right? So templates are like a formats, right? Which you want to use. Helm ignore, which you don't want to ignore. You can just ignore this file. So this is what you have. And in the charts, any dependence charts will be present, but that's all we have. And yeah. So the now here, if you just go here, this is not the content we are going to clip. I'll also erase the content. And what actually content we need is we just need the deployment object, like the metadata specifications and all, right? We can fine tune it as per our requirement. Let me go for it. Sorry, I'm speaking on mute. So we'll use some inbuilt objects. Let me erase the whole content. Right. So this, let me do one thing actually. Let me remove this folder. Why, I'll tell you. Okay, it's gone. Let me create again. First, I'll create a chart which will suit for any web deployments, like any pages if you want. So what I'll do is Helm create web, right? So this is the Helm chart created. And let me delete all the unnecessary contents here. Let me delete this test folder first. Okay, so now this is the deployment manifest file. It would be the same manifest file we have written for the deployment object, except with the parameterization. Let me first clear it off. This is the one we need. See, apps v1, deployment, and instead of metadata name, values.app name. Values is an inbuilt object in Helm. So values.app replicas, values.app name. So these are all the labels, the image name and all, right? This is how we are passing. And these values will be passed from values.yml. We can have different values file. Let's say I'm renaming this as, let's say I just want to deploy Nginx application as for a test. Nginx values.yml. Right here, we'll pass the actual values. Let me also put those values. Whatever parameters we have defined should be passed from here. See here, app name is Nginx, replicas are 3, container port, and the image name is Nginx, and the label is latest. So those are all will be replaced here. App name, right? App image means Nginx and the tag is latest, right? This is how you parameterize it. Similarly, the service object, it's like parameterizing it and using the same Helm chart with a different values file. See, even the service name, service type, all of that should be in the values file. See, service type, service port, everything, right? That's what you will have here. And this is your chart. We don't have any dependencies. I may also delete this chart. Okay, and also Helm ignore, we are not using. That's all we have, right? This is the Helm chart, web Helm chart through which I can install some Nginx. I can install PHP. I can do many things. We'll just come here to the folder. Now we have created it, right? If you want to check the syntax, Helm lint -f, pass the values. Nginx. Oh, okay. It's inside the PHP. So, I mean, sorry, under the web, Nginx values. Right? Linting error enable chart.yml, no such file or directory. Okay, yeah, we have to go to the web folder and run this command. Nginx values.yml is not there. Oh, sorry. It's not in the web folder, right? Right? So actually we are inside the web folder, but this Nginx values is here in the web folder itself. So go to the web and then run this command. You don't need to provide the web folder. You are already into the directory. Okay. So we can see that the file values file, because by default it will check for values file. That's okay. But yeah, it's saying it's a linting and one charts failed because you don't have that file. In this case, you may also pass the file. Though I passed it, it's not considering this. Lint -f values.yml file doesn't exist because we are using a different one. Nginx. Is the name correct? Maybe let me get to the bash shell. Helm lint -f nginx. Okay, it's saying values.yml file does not exist. One chart linted, zero charts failed, right? But the same thing in this one is showing differently. One charts linted, zero failed. I think it's now fine. Maybe it's okay. So it says this icon, the file does not exist, but one chart linted, zero failed. Earlier, I noticed it as one chart failed, but if it is showing as this, that's perfect. Now, let's say, okay, I am passing the values, but how are those files interpreted if you want to see that? Helm template -f and the web. Okay, we are already here, -f nginx values. And let's say the chart name. Web. Actually, I would like to use for Nginx. Let's say that's a web. Non-absolute URLs, name of the path. Where are we? We are in the web. Okay, now let me run this. No such file or directory. It's okay. From where we run these commands is a little bit tricky. Huh. Okay, so see here. The actual files you can see after passing the service, Nginx type, node port, all of these are perfect, right? Similarly, the deployment object. It can show you the actual files by replacing the file names. Do you get that? Understood this much, everyone? Web. Okay, so now how do you install this chart? Before installing the chart, let's check if we have any charts. Okay, Kubernetes, first of all, Minikube should be started, right, to see the charts. So first, let's start Docker desktop and then start Minikube, and then we can run these commands. So Docker desktop is started. Now let's start Minikube. Minikube start.
So Preeti generally use the Helm chart or the uh, which concept is used generally?
Both are used. It depends on their requirement, I mean their choice. Both are.
Okay.
So now the Minikube is ready. Let's check with all the charts are available. Already I have this. I'm uninstalling this. Helm uninstall MySQL, the chart name, and also PHP. So done. We have also tested the template. So let us install this. Helm install -f web with nginx value. So nginx will be installed basically. So I want to give the name as nginx and the chart name. Chart is already created. Chart name is web. So it says it is installed. You can see Helm ls. See nginx is installed. You can see get all. kubectl get all. Right, nginx pods are running 3 pods because we have given 3 replicas. Ignore this one. This is coming from a sample deployment. Sample pod actually. Delete pod. Those are all present in the default namespace. So it is showing up. Okay, now only these 3 replicas, service node port, everything is good. 30684 nginx should be available. Let us see that running. You have to do port forwarding. I'll do it here. kubectl port forward service nginx and what is the port? Service nginx 30684. 30684 and 80. Now
Where is defined 30864, Preeti?
here service forwarded to this port.
Service port is 80, then container port is 80.
It's a node port. I did not define, so I took a random port. If you want, you can define it in your service file. I did
Okay.
not define the node port. Localhost 30, right? Perfect. Yeah. Okay, fine. We can also do this. What is the advantage of using this Helm chart? The same web chart can be used to deploy multiple applications, whichever need this deployment and service, right? How do we do that? We just create one more file, php values.yml, right? That's all. Another set of file, another set of values. Right, this time 2 replicas of php, and this is the image. PHP secret, I mean node port, everything is good. But how does it pull the image here? In Minikube, right? Otherwise, you will create a secret. We all know that. We can create another template for secret. We can reuse it. But in Minikube, how do you see the images or how do you pull those private images? There are multiple ways. It's a Minikube, just a workaround. Okay. We can do some workaround. And if you want to see the images used in Minikube, you can see this way. Minikube image ls. This is the Docker used by Minikube, not the Docker on this server. See, already these 2 images are there, so it will use it. But let me Minikube, I don't know how to delete this. Minikube image RMI maybe. I'm trying to delete it so that I'll put those images. I'll show you putting those. This is just a workaround. No, it's saying RM, that's all. Minikube image RM to remove that image. This is Docker of Minikube, not the Docker run server. It's gone, I think. MySQL also. Now, if you see the list, you don't have them, right? You have something else, but you don't have them. Now, um, like if you want to like use this image, what you have to do is mini cube image load and the image name. That's how it will be added into the list. First of all, Docker login should be done on this server. Hopefully, I think it is done, so it should work. Otherwise, it will not work. It's taking time means it might not have done. That's how using the same chart, the same templates, I could deploy many things. I think it is done. Let me check the list. Yes, it's added. So Docker login might have done on this server. Then MySQL. I don't know whether it is MySQL. Let me check the image name on the Docker Hub. Hub.docker.com. Sign in. So Java, Maven, private repos, PHP, MySQL, correct only. So it should be able to load. I think it's loaded. Now both are available. It can pull this PHP repos, PHP. So PHP should be deployed. Now Helm ls. Let us install this as well. Helm install -f. It's the same chart, but now the values you pass is PHP values. And the chart name is web. Okay. Installation name, let's say PHP, and the chart name is web. Now, if you see, yes, PHP is installed. kubectl get all. Now PHP should be shown as 2 images running and the service is 31198. So if you want to access this on the browser, do port forwarding like we did for this. I'm just terminating this one. Oh. And the port this time for PHP is 31198. 31198. So here, this should be gone. 31198. PHP. Is it our own image? Private repos. Oh, I think we are forwarding it to the same port. This is the port of just a second, just to make sure. kubectl execute -it PHP pod to see the file. Bin bash. Okay, file is correct only, but we are not seeing it. Okay, 3118. Let me just to clarify that this is not conflicting with the other one. I'm just cleaning up this service. I think this, okay. Let me Helm uninstall. Now PHP is there alone. Oh, you understood the error? I'm forwarding this service. That's the reason. Okay, let me just install it once again. I just want to keep both of them. Nginx should be there. And then when you are doing port forwarding, it's not Nginx, it's a PHP we should port forward, isn't it? That's the reason we are seeing Nginx on this port. Now, correct? Perfect, right? But there is no backend, data wouldn't be stored. So let's start another service. Can we use the same Helm chart for DB? Can we use the same Helm chart for DB? For MySQL, can I use the web Helm chart? I cannot use it because the components are different here, right? If it is same like the deployment service, I may go for it, or else I may enhance this chart. So, but DB has different objects. So what we'll do is we'll create another chart, another chart, so that it would match like whatever objects it says. All the services whichever need those objects can use this Helm chart, right? So let us create another chart. Helm. This is the command to create the chart. Let's say Helm create DB. Now go to that DB. Simply we can do Helm lint. This also should work. Linting the chart, one chart linted, and actually we did not do anything. Let's modify. I don't need this dependency folder, dependency charts, and Helm ignore. I don't need it. Now here test folder not needed. Okay, this one also not needed. Deployment file. This one we don't need. Remove all the unnecessary things, clean up the chart. Okay, so these two objects anyhow we needed. We need additional files as well, right? We'll create all of them, PV, PVC, right? Let me create new files. pv.yaml, also pvc.yaml. Okay, so service object, deployment object, volumes, volume claims, secret anyway we are not using for pulling the image. If you want to get the password, you may create it. But for now, I'm just keeping simple. I'm not using any secret. Even then the password is configured at the image level, so it shouldn't be having any issue. So deployment object. Here again, everything is same, but the thing is, see here. If you want to pass the volume mounts, right? We did this. Also environment variables, if you want, this is how you can pass. We are not passing any environment variable, but like if you want any secrets, that's how you can do, right? And similarly, service object. Go to the service file. I remove this. Okay, and then PVC. All of the things, like we are creating the template so that they can be reused. Right? PVC. Values dot, claim name, storage class, access modes, PVC storage. These are all the values which will come from this values file. We'll define all those values here. Right? So you may have multiple values file for different installations. I'll say this is SQL values file. That's all. Okay. Now all the values should go in here, whatever we are using. This will take definitely some time to create from scratch. As I have already have this created, I'm using it. Definitely it would take some time. See the volume name, where it has to storage, everything. Understood? Are we good? And this MNT data is going to be on the mini cube. How to check that data, I'll show you. Let me just, yeah. So first we can check the templates, like using template command. Helm template. Helm template -f. If this is DB this time, DB SQL values. Okay, it's in the same file, so I may say SQL values.yml. And then the chart name is SQL. And the, the installation name is SQL, chart name is DB. Template, repo name, underscore path, got DB. DB is the chart name. Release name and chart name. Release name is SQL. I don't see anything incorrect here. We are in the DB folder. Come out of DB and let's run this. Okay, so all the files you can see by replacing the parameters. Like you can see the actual values. Okay, persistent volume claim, the exact files you can see. Right? Now let us install this chart. Helm install. -f, the values. Okay, let's go to that DB folder. Right, it says it is installed. Helm ls. We can see that. And kubectl get all to see all the components. Right, SQL is installed, SQL pods are all running. And now if you submit, perfect, right? Perfect, right? It's working as expected. Any questions from anyone?
For the SQL DB, which kind is used for this deployment or which one?
Okay.
Stateful.
I used a deployment, but yeah, you can use stateful.
Stateful. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
I have used deployment, but you can create same way, like values.yml, all the values can be sent from there. Get BV. PV is created. Do you see? PVCs are created as it's a one pod. We have it. But where do we see that on this mini cube? Like we deployed it on a mini cube, right? Persistent volume host path is MNT data I have given. So how do you check that? Can I check here in the user directory? Like where is this MNT data? Actually, that is in the VM which is created. Your mini cube will be launching a little VM at the back end, I told you, right? So it would be in that VM. So you can do mini cube. This is all workarounds. We don't use it in reality, just for our learning. See, it's on the mini cube VM, Docker mini cube you have logged in. Right here, you would see that host path. MNT data. Yeah. Do you see that? You don't see that directly on your Windows or on your laptop. You will have to SSH into that host, that VM, Minikube VM. Got it? So that's where volume is created. This is a simple way of installing Helm chart, but this is too advanced, like far advanced concept. You can do some hands-on, do some practice on this. Yeah, definitely it will take some time, like, but if you understand the flow, if you understand the concept, it shouldn't be too complex. But practice, a lot of practice is needed. Any more questions from anyone? So this one you can do on the previous cluster also, like on-prem one, or any cluster, irrespective of how it is, the commands, everything is same. You can practice it over any way you want. Only the thing is, you should be careful installing your Helm, like as it needs more resource on EC2, we were doing on Minikube. And then we have load balancer service, autoscaler we can see on EKS. EKS cluster creation itself will take some 20 minutes. So we shall create that cluster in the next class, and when we go for the EKS, we will look into the load balance, and then we will also look into the cluster auto scaling. That's and of course CI/CD from Jenkins is what we should look at. We can take up from here in the next class. Focus on the Helm chart for today. Yes, any
Uh,
question?
yeah, Preeti, where is a Helm chart command is available? Any document there?
Yeah,
Mm.
you have it in the drive. In the Kubernetes installation. Mm. This is about Helm installing the default files. Okay, I'll update it. I think it's not available in the drive. I'll update the file.
How to access that drive on my from
Google
my laptop?
access is given, right, for all of you.
Not for me. I'm not accessing for that drive.
Can you ping Mr. Raj?
Okay, yeah,
Ping him for the access. Share your registered email ID. I can provide you with access.
okay.
Through the web portal also we can access it.
Through the
Website Preethi dash Devops.
yeah, there also you have those things. Yes, there also.
Yeah, yeah.
Where is the drive link given here? Google Drive link. Mm.
Mhm. Go to this. No, no. Just click on this home button. Yeah. Click on self-learning videos on the topmost. Yeah, third option. Yeah. Scroll
Yes,
down. Google Drive.
yes. Here it is, but you can access only once you are approved. So link is here.
Yeah.
If you have access, you can go there.
Okay.
And the
Thank you.
yes, you have this. All right, then any more questions from anyone? I don't want to jump into a case for today. We shall start it fresh tomorrow. So do hands-on till this much, and we shall take up from here in the next session. Any other queries you have, I can be here and help you with those. Any questions, anything where you are stuck up, or any other doubt? All right, then if we don't have any time, let's use this for our hands-on. You can get started with your hands-on as we have some time left, and post your queries if you have any. Thank you all. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.